Good afternoon, everyone. Let's get started. What I want to talk about today is leisure time. In other words, how people in the U.S. spend their time when not working. But before we dive in to discuss leisure, let's first look briefly at how people spend their time at work. Let's see if how they work tells us anything about how they play during leisure time. Okay, now many people are in workplaces where efficiency is the #1 value. American companies are constantly trying to increase efficiency. And recently, there are a lot of new technologies that make that possible. So people are working in workplaces in which there's a feeling of a sped up, that is a quickened pace, which then leaves them with an overall feeling their life, even out of the workplace, is sped up. They have the feeling that there isn't enough time really to do the things they need to do. They especially have a feeling of not having enough time to relax. So, today we'll look at some current ways in which people who work in this sped up work world organize their leisure time, how they react to the sped up pace. And by current, I mean right now. These are some recent trends. So, today's focus is spending leisure time. Now, the first reaction to the sped up work pace is that we see people organizing or using their leisure time by trying to make it more efficient, just like at work. So first, let's look at this value of efficiency. Okay. The first example that I want to do is to look at how people in the U.S. take this value of efficiency and allow it to affect their leisure time while on vacation. So think for a second of a tourist site that maybe you have been to in the United States. Maybe you've been to the Grand Canyon or the Golden Gate Bridge or the Statue of Liberty. Yeah? Okay. Typical tourist sites. Okay. So at these sites, you see people spending time walking around, reading about the sites in their guidebooks, taking their time to really learn about the tourist site. But alternatively, you also see people trying to make their leisure time more efficient. So instead of spending time slowly looking at the site or even walking around, maybe you've seen what I've seen, which is people driving around the site with their video cameras out the window, right? So pointing the video camera out the window of a moving car, not even stopping to really see the site. Then maybe going to a second site and even a third site. This is the way they visit most places possible in a limited period of time. In other words, they are trying to play as efficiently as they work. You've seen this, yeah? Yeah. So that's an example of this first idea of efficiently using leisure time. Okay. I want to bring up one more way that people use leisure time efficiently. And that is, instead of trying to do a lot of things one after the other in one time period, just as I described, instead they multitask. For example, and listen to see if you hear yourself described in this. They're watching television while surfing the internet. Does this sound familiar? So in other words, they're trying to do multiple leisure activities at the same time. They're trying to do as much as possible in a limited amount of time. In fact, there is an interesting study that looked at how people entertain themselves during leisure time. And the results of the study showed that by multitasking like this, people are able to fit 11 hours of leisure time activities into 7 hours of actual leisure time. And one thing that I want to make sure that you notice here is that in all of these examples, what has made this efficiency or speed up possible is technology. The video camera, the cell phone, the computer, and the internet, etc. All of this makes it possible for leisure time to start to look exactly like work time. And that's another way that we see people bringing workplace values into their downtime. What I mean by downtime is this free time or relaxation time. Okay? Hopefully now you're all exhausted by the idea of this. It sounds really exhausting to spend your time like that. And in fact, what we see is that some people are just as stressed out or tense when they're trying to have fun as when they are working. But not everybody is busy and efficient all the time. So let's look at this second reaction to the sped up workplace. The newspaper, the Wall Street Journal, recently summarized 6 surveys that were done about how people spend their leisure time. And they found some interesting and I think important information that people are hurried at work and tired at home. And they found that many people actually choose to organize their leisure time in a kind of low energy choice. You can imagine what some of these are. People like to watch TV. They like to rest. And a lot of people said they like to read. So these kind of, the trend was for low energy or no-brainer choices. And of all these low energy choices, take a guess which one is the #1 leisure activity in the United States. Watching TV. And now, take a minute. How many hours a day do you guess Americans watch TV? 4 hours per day. If you guessed 4 hours per day, you are right. So, the #1 leisure activity then is watching TV. What is going on here? I think that what we see is that instead of staying just as busy during their free time, some people are so tired from working and juggling multiple tasks that they become couch potatoes. Couch potatoes. What do I mean by couch potatoes? Couch potatoes, get the picture here, are people who just want to sit on the couch and do nothing but watch TV and escape. Got it? Understand what I mean by couch potatoes? So, some people respond to a stressful work life by acting like couch potatoes. In other words, they respond in a very relaxed way versus the efficient way that I described earlier. And we can infer or guess that all these people are watching TV so much because TV provides an easy escape from the hurried pace of life, the hurried pace of work lives and busy home lives, and the constant decision-making required when people have to juggle multiple responsibilities. Okay. So, I'd like to wrap up today and make sure that you get the main point, which is that we see that this quickened pace of life today has produced 2 opposite reactions. Some people respond by playing just like they work, very efficiently, and others withdraw and do very little. Okay, that's it. We'll pick this up next week.